need to wrap this up. But one theme that we want to ask everybody here, and one speaker at great length, is privacy. There seems to be this...
Sorry, Mark.
Sorry, I don't know if Mark's
He's
here. But hey, Mark. So there seems to have been a spate of mistakes or, false starts or things that have to do with privacy where companies have had to retreat, whether it's things with Facebook, things with Google Buzz. There was
or Google's Wi-Fi collection recently.
Yeah, that Wi-Fi collection, inadvertent. Yeah. Talk to me about that. How is privacy looked at differently in Silicon Valley than in the rest of America?
No, Silicon Valley's not monolithic. We've always had a very different view of privacy than some of our colleagues in the Valley. We take privacy extremely seriously. As an example, we worry a lot about location in phones. And we worry that some 14-year-old is going to get stalked and something terrible is going to happen because of our phone. And so, as an example, before any app can get location data, we don't make it a rule that they have to put up a panel and ask, because they might not follow that rule. They call our location services and we put up the panel saying, this app wants to use your location data. Is that okay with you? Every time they want to use it. And we do a lot of things like that to ensure that people understand what these apps are doing. That's one of the reasons we have the curated app store. We have rejected a lot of apps that want to take a lot of your personal data and suck it up into the cloud. A lot. So we're really old. A lot of people in the Valley think we're really old-fashioned about this. And maybe we are, but we worry about stuff like this.
But aren't you also going to be moving more into cloud-based things?
Are we going to be moving more into cloud-based things? Sure. But
doesn't that inevitably get you? No.
Privacy means people know what they're signing up for in plain English and repeatedly. That's what it means. I'm an optimist. I believe people are smart. And some people want to share more data than other people do. Ask them. Ask them every time. Make them tell you to stop asking them if they get tired of you asking them. Let them know precisely what you're going to do with their data.
Okay.
That's what we think.
Thank you.
Okay, why don't we open up the...
We have a little... We're running a little late, but we certainly have time for some questions. I think actually you got there first, if I'm so correctly.
Lauren Lee with Canaan Partners. Steve, thanks for showing up. A few years ago, I was here watching you and Bill Gates speak, so I think that was a very historic moment. So very happy that you came back and came to speak with us again. A few years ago, you gave a commemoration speech at Stanford to the graduating class. Now, a few years later, and a couple years wiser, would you add anything else to that speech that you gave a couple years ago?
That's a good question.
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. Probably I would just turn up the volume on it, because the last few years have reminded me that life is fragile. So.
Thanks. Over there, yeah.
Hi, Steve. Chris Fralick from First Round Capital. The question is around Apple's terms of services, and there were some changes that were recently made around that made some of your developers think that Apple might want to exclusively own the analytics and the advertising business. And I just wondered if that is the case, and if it's not, could you help clarify when we might have...
Yeah, sure. We found a really interesting thing. We're real naive about this stuff. So one day we read in the paper that a company called Flurry Analytics has detected that we have some new iPhone and other tablet devices that we're using on our campus. And we thought, what the hell? And the way that they detected this was they're getting developers to put their software in their apps, and their software is sending out information about the device and about its geolocation and other things back to Flurry. No customer is ever asked about this. It's violating every rule in our privacy policy with our developers. And we went through the roof about this. So we said, no, we're not going to allow this. This is violating our privacy policies, and it's pissing us off that they're publishing data about our new products. So we said that we're only going to allow these analytics that don't give device information and that are solely for the purposes of advertising. Solely for the purposes of advertising. In other words, if a developer needs to put some analytics in their app that sends some information out to an advertiser so that they can make some money, because we're not going to be the only advertiser. There's others, and we're not banning other advertisers from our platforms. They can do that. But they can't send data out to an analytics firm who's going to sell it to make money and publish it to tell everybody that we have devices in our campus that we don't want people to know about. That we don't need to do.
Okay.
Is that clear?
It is, but there's a valid use for an app developer wanting to know those things for their own, to make their own app better, to know where people use it, to know where it breaks.
You know,
that they may not have.
There's no excuse for them not asking the customer whether it's appropriate to send that personal, private data to an analytics firm, which they were not doing. And secondly, after we calm down from being pissed off, then we're willing to talk to some of these analytics firms.
Great. Thank you.
But it's not today.